iFootage sends me a bunch of items, but what I'm truly excited about is going to be the Nano II slider. This is a 17 inch. They also have another one which is 9 inches, but obviously I went for the longer one because that just gives me more area of coverage. For the lantern, the light, the MPF adapter, and the V-mount holder, I will talk about that when I'm doing a separate video where I'm putting that to use. But what I'm truly excited about for today's video is going to be this battery extension arm that you have, the adapter for your Pocket 3 that you can put onto the Nano slider, and then the Nano slider itself. This is a 140 watts battery grip. It has a rated capacity of 17,500 mAh. It also has a USB-C output. There's also an indicator to show you the battery level, obviously your USB-C port. You can also screw onto it this little spigot so that you can put your lights directly onto it. iFootage Shark Slider Nano II 17 inch, which is the one that I have. It's a motorized slider, and obviously because this is 17 inches, it has 17 inches of usable track length, multi-axis coordination for flexibility, and I think the horizontal payload is about 15.4 pounds, but then when you're tilting it vertically, then it can handle about 7.7 pounds. What I love is also the touchscreen that you can use for your keyframes. And then the DJI adapter is also included in the bag so that if you have a DJI RS4, RS4 Pro, RS3 Pro, RS2 Pro, then you'll be able to control the gimbal because those ones also have detachable handles. Slide in a little NPF battery and power the slider that way. And so once you turn on the slider, it should start automatically calibrating itself. So I did mention that you can actually play with the sliding from left to right on the slider itself, but if you want to get more creative, that is where you can attach your gimbal to it. And I mentioned the RS4 Pro. What I have is the RS4. So what you can do is simply detach the battery grip from your gimbal, and then you have this little plate with the communication pins that goes underneath your gimbal, and then you lock it in place. And then you have this little communication cable. This is really important because that's how the gimbal communicates with the slider. And then screw it onto the comms pin on the side of the gimbal. And then it magnetically attaches to the front. And that is really important. Once you attach the gimbal to the slider, there are a few things that you have to do on the gimbal before you can start using it. Just make sure you go into the settings, look for push mode, and ensure that push pan and push tilt are both enabled. I first need to unlock the slider, and I'm going to do that by hitting the on and function button. Alright, so here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to start with the gimbal at the end of the slider like that, and I'm going to hit on A. Right, so this is going to be my A point. I'm also positioning the camera where I want it to be, and that is pointing downwards. Then I'm going to move all the way to the right hand side. I'm going to swipe and then hit on B, and then reposition my camera to point somewhere else. And when I hit, let me change the time as well. So by default, it gives you 15 seconds, but I want this to go a little bit faster. So I'm going to slide down to, let's say 6 seconds, right? I'm going to go back and hit standby. When I hit on start, I can also loop it. So turn the loop on or off, and it will just keep doing the same motion from beginning to end. And I can have as many keyframes or points as possible, and this will just keep going back and forth until I am okay with it. Now I also went ahead to use the app to program some keyframes, And so you see the slider quickly do its thing. And that is one thing that I really love about the slider, and the fact that you can get repeatable motions like this. You also have app control, and you can move the slider from left to right. You can change the pan, right, up, down. You can also go into the settings and add a roll if you want. So I can turn the roll on, and now when I go back, I can add a roll to the gimbal if I want. So you have pretty much full flexibility with the slider and the gimbal combo, and to me, I feel like this is just going to give you so much control, and then just creating interesting shots with the slider. And so I feel like this combo is truly amazing. You saw me put my camera on a gimbal, attach it to the slider, and do all those crazy movements, but it didn't stop there. I actually have in my hands as well the phone clamp, and I have a base plate that would sit on there, and so I can put my phone on the slider and still do these amazing things using my phone. But what I'm pretty excited about the most is the fact that they have the same mount but for the DJI Osmo Pocket 3, meaning that you can actually put this on the slider just like you saw, and then I can be panning left and right, but also because I have this knob right here, I can make this fall forwards if I wanted to do that, or just make it stay upright. And when I hit start, you'd see that it will still be able to move left and right. And because the Pocket 3 also has the tracking feature, if I flip this around to track me, for example, it will be tracking me as I'm moving whilst it's also moving from left to right. This slider is truly an amazing slider. I love the build, the quality, it just feels solid. But then this isn't going to be like your traditional slider where you can manually be moving your camera or your phone, or in this case the Pocket 3, left to right. It's fully electric, and that's why I feel they've given you all these power options. You can use the NPF battery, you can use a USB-C port straight into the power bank, and then you can also go directly into a wall socket with the brick that they attached. And I feel like with all the accessories that they gave you, for example the phone mount for your phone, or this mount for the Pocket 3, or the DJI base plate that allows you to put your gimbals on there for an insane amount of control. So if you want to get a slider, I will highly recommend this. I'm going to put a link down below. You can check it out, and I'll see you guys in the next video.